The first thing before we start programming C, I would like to know, I just wanted to give you an information that why it is called a programming language. Set of instructions, that is, you have a definite grammar for it, and this grammar is known as, in English, even yet in English, we have a grammar, and similarly in programming in C, we have something called syntax. So this is called algorithm. This is called the programming language. Anytime you start a programming language, the first thing is you have to know step-by-step process in a program. So that is called the algorithm. Let us take the sequence of sentence that is you're going to frame a problem is called an algorithm. For example, you have a small expression C is equal to A plus B. The expression C is equal to A plus B, how do you solve in mathematics? Generally, when you have mathematics, we solve like A plus B is equated to C. Now, in terms of computer science or a programming language, first we have to understand A, B, C are called literals or variables, or it is called the operand. Now, in this expression, there are three operands, two operators, and this is called plus and equal to are called the operators, and A and B are called the operands, and C is also the operand where the variable, the addition is stored. Now this is the algorithm for that we have written. Now let us start as the first process. Declare a variable number 1, number 2, and a sum. That is, you're going to add number 1 and number 2 and store it in a variable called sum. So I have to declare. It's called the initialization of the variable. Now, after reading the variable, that is, you use the printf and the scanf, you read it from the console, you add it and assign it to sum. That is, this is the process that is happening. And after assigning it to sum, you display the sum. Now, this is called a algorithm. And every program is preceded by a start and ended with a stop. Next, a pictorial representation of an algorithm is known as a flowchart. And these are the flowchart symbols. For example, first one is the line, which is the next sequential line, whichever goes to the next line, you put it as a sequential thing. Next is the terminal symbol, that is start and stop, which is an oval shape. Then the input symbol and the output symbol, which is the terminal. Then you have the decision, that is, you have a yes or no box. That is, any while condition, if condition, you have a decision, that is, based on a condition, any statement works, it is called a decision symbol. Next, you have a connector. When you have that is lines of codes are extending for a long time, then you represent in a pictorial form. When the next page you go, you have to put the connector. Now this is the basic structure of C. A program of C will have the basic structure as documentation, that is its comment section. If you want to write it like /my program or something like, you can give it as a comment section. It's called the documentation, where you give the document about this program, what it's going to do. Then the pre-process section is where you assign the variables to the particular program you're going to start. And you have the definition section where you declare your global variables. Then you have the main. Main is the first function or the first statement of the program where you give an initialization to the compiler that main is the first starting line of this particular program. Then you have the declare section, that is called the local variable. Then execution statement, set of statements, that may be a sequential statement, a for loop, while loop, or if statement. Anything inside that would be added. Now you have a subprogram, that is, when you have functions, the subprogram actually takes, when you call the function in the main, the subprogram is called and it is serviced, again the output is given. There are 4 types of functions that we will be seeing in the later sessions. So since I have said this, I'm going to skip this. Anyway, let me read out documentation. It consists of the command lines, pre-process section. It connects your library function, that is your Konya.h, stdio.h, that is statement in, that is your standard input output header file is connected. That is your printf, scanf, your gets, puts, all are inside this. So you not write the code for the printf and scanf. The function is being called. So that is why it's called the linking section. Then you have the global variable where you declare it. Then the main function where the actual first program it starts. Then the execution part, which is inside the main function. Then the subroutine that is outside the main function. This is the simplest program that you can write. This is called the header file. This is the pre-process section. Then you have the main, void main. Void is nothing but a main that is not going to return any value, that is going to print within the main the value. Then it is called a void main. Okay, you give a void, that is there is no return type. Then the first thing is integer first, second float, you add it and you have display the number. This is the very simplest program. But before we start, the first thing is, what is this statement called? In first, second, float, average. Now this is called the initialization section, or it is called the local variable. Now the printf statement, you have enter two numbers in the scanf, you have percentage d percentage d. Now this is the function that is written inside std.io.h, right? Next, you have the scanf, that is, it scans the console, that is your black screen, that is called the console. It scans out for any input that is being given there. If any input is there, it takes and gives it. Now percentage d represents decimal, that is 0 to 9, that is represented. You call it is integer, and it is also represented by I. Either you can use percentage d or percentage I. So these are ampersand is called the address operator, where the address for particular variable first is given. Now this is the basic program for writing any of the program. Now before we get into the program, let me give you an introduction to this one. That is, averages, add the first two numbers divided by 2, and you get, if it is in 4 plus 5, you get in float. That is why we are given floating point. If it is 2 plus 2, 4, in something like by 2 is 2, so that is integer. So either way it is going to give the output. Now this is the basic, this blue screen is called the compiler. A compiler is one which translates a high level language. The code which I've written is called high level language. It translates a high level language into a lower level language, that is the machine code, and again converts it into your machine code to your high level language and gives the output. Now this is the function of a compiler. Compiler compile once, it gives you all the set of errors that has happened. For example, here the compilation is after you write, this is called the source code. That is the blue screen which you see here. From here to here, this is what you have written. It's called the source code. The source code you have written, you have to save it in .c. After saving in .c, you have to compile it using Alt F9 or compile. You can click it here, compile it. Once you compile, you will be getting an object file, a backup file, and OBJ. That is, OBJ file is the backup file, and OBJ file is the object file. So all these files are generated when you run a program. That is, an exe will be generated. That is, this hash include io.h. When you compile, this is linked with printf, scanf, because these are called predefined functions. I think you'll be learning in the later sessions. This is called the predefined function, that is of the standard input output header file. Then the Conio header file, that is the console input out header file, is consisting of clear screen and get screen. The clear screen function is just to use the clear functions, and get ch will wait for any key press of this. So these are the functions that are inbuilt inside, and you're going to access it. That is why this is called the linking section, where you are the object, all the preprocessor files, that is the header file, is linked with the functions present inside the function, that is present inside the function of the header files. Now this is the output. After I can press Control F9, there is the compilation. After running this compilation, I executed Control plus F9. I get a sum as 8. Right? So this is called the console. The black screen is called the console. Now let me go to the C tokens. The C tokens, identifier, right? Key for keywords, identifier, constants, strings, special symbols, and operators. Keywords are nothing but integer, while anything it has predefined meaning, so it is called keywords. Identifier is like what you declare, like integer or integer a, comma b, comma total, sum, like that. Then constants, constant is declared as constant 1, 2, 10. You declare anything, it is going to be remaining the same value throughout the program. So it's called the constant. String is like you want to give your name or something, like we declare it as string, and this one, that is within double quotes, it's called string. Then you have special symbols, parentheses, this and all. Now the next is operators. Very important one is the operator, because it's a 12-mark question, or maybe a bigger question, because operators, there are different kind of operators, that is arithmetic, relational, logical, assignment operator, increment, decrement, conditional, bitwise, and size of. Now the first one is the arithmetic operator. It is very simple: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and modulus. Modulus is the only one we'll go to, like you have a reminder. For example, 5 divided by 3. What is the reminder? You want to use the, you want to get the reminder, you'll be using the modulo operator, right? And the next is the relational operator. Relational operators are used to compare two different operands. Operands may be a variable, constants, or an expression. That is, you want to compare two different numbers. Like let us take 5 and 6. I'm going to compare. I'm going to assign a value m or n or a or b. I'm going to assign it a and b, and you are going to compare. You're going to get the expression, and this can be used with if floats. Right. Next is the logical operator, where this and, or, not are called the logical operators. See, this is like two expressions. There are m greater than 5 and n greater than. But if both the expressions are true, you get an output. The other one, logical or, is any one of the expressions you is true, you get an output. And the logical not is negation of what is there in the expression. Now you have a conditional operator. This is also known as a ternary operator. Why? Because there are three operands, and that is why it's called ternary operator. Three expressions are there. It's called the ternary operator. Simple as x is equal to a greater than b question mark ab. That is, here, if any one of them is, either of them is true, it will be assigned to a and b. That a and b will be assigned to x. That is, always the greatest value will be printed towards x. Right? So this is a simple program. This is for the conditional operator. Int x, a is equal to 5, b is equal to 3, x is going to be getting this value inside. So a is greater than b. I'm going to check it for a question mark, that is a is greater than b, or a colon b. That is, it's going to check for the highest value, and whichever value is higher, it is going to be printed in printf. Now this is what, that is a. Always x is going to get a value that is always greater of this expression. Now you have the bitwise operator. This works on the principles of integers. Then you have data types. The basic data types are int, float, double, and character. This is called the basic data types. And there is something called derived data types, which we will be learning later, like for example array, right? So integer, it carries 2 bytes. Character is used for storing characters, that is, or strings. You can generate strings using arrays. Then float, any decimal values, and double, a large number, right? These are the expressions that is being given here. Now next is type conversion. It is like, if you want to convert any, there are two types actually, automatic type conversion and a typecasting. Automatic type conversion is anything you assign, like float a comma b comma c, and you assign a value a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 3. Automatically it says a is equal to 10.0. Okay, it is not necessary you have to give 10.0. Now, whereas you take typecasting, for example, you see this expression, you can give it like this: data type followed by operand. Z is equal to float x by y. That is, this float will contain, that is, x can be changed as float. That is 10.0. That will take as 10.0, and the output will be z is equal to 3.3. That is, will be again the resultant will be a float, right? Now, this is the two types of statements. Two types of statements. The one is the formatted, the unformatted. Formatted is scanf, printf. Now this is where your actual programming starts. You have to know two types of statements, that is printf and scanf. This is called the predefined function because it's present inside stdio.h, that is standard input output header file. The scanf function contains control string followed by a variable or number of variables or expression. Whatever you give within the double quotes in control string, it's like %d, %f, %c, %s, or %ld or %. That is integer, float. Even instead of d, you can use I also. So this is the variable, that is, I'm going to scan an input from a program from the end user. I'm going to specify what type of variable I'm going to get it from the user. When I'm going to specify like that, I'll be able to know what is the variable. Now that is why it is called control string or type specifier. Now this is a simple program I have taken out. So this is the formatted input integer, like I say, %2d and %5d, comma, ampersand n. So this is the program I have written here, and this is a simple link where if you don't have if you have a using your mobile, if you all are using your mobile, you don't have a compiler in your house with a laptop, you can just go to this link and type the program. You'll be able to get the output of this. Now this is the program I've taken. Whatever I've given here, I'm incorporated here. See, this is the input 31 for A. I'm typing as, well, number 1 I'm typing as 31425 and 50. Now what this percentage do will take is, it is going to take 31, that is 31, and display it. Next I have taken percentage 5D. It is going to continue from here for the next expression. It is going to print from 4 to 5. That is, this is going to discard. Now it is going to discard this value. Now if I interchange, for example, number 1 is 50 and number 2 is 31425, I'm going to get, like, the output is 50 and 31425. Right, I'll be getting the entire number. So this is the difference between formatted input integer. That is, now this is the unformatted input statements. You have input, that is get char, put char, gets, puts. These are the statements that is also present in stdio.h, but these are called unformatted input output statements. Right? These are called single character because x is equal to get char. Once you run the program, you'll get one single character value. Beyond that, you press any keyboard, a keyboard will take only one single key press of any character. Now, then the put char is one which displays one character from the device you have taken. For example, character x, put x. If it is going to be character x, whatever I'm giving this value inside x, that value is going to be displayed. Now, get c is also a function like that. Get character variable equal to get c. The example is character c. Get c is equal to get c. That is, it's also similar to the previous function. Here we are going to accept single standard input from your keyboard and display it in the puts. So this is the simple program where I've taken, here you see character scientist 40, or I'm declaring as an array of string. Though it's a character, it is an array, means it is a string. Puts, enter the name, I've given that, it is going to print it here. Remember, puts there, printf is going to print here, puts, enter the name, get scientist, puts, print the name, puts scientist. So I'm going to run it. The first thing, it is going to run this put statement. I'm going to type something because it gets the scientist and again displays what it is there in the particular variable. Now this is what, this one. Next, we have something called control structures. Moving to control structures. That is, a program is very important. Any sequential line is called the sequential execution is called sequential execution of program. Anything beyond that, you have conditional statement, that is control statements. The control of the statement is transferred from one place to another. For example, a conditional statement is making decisions and looping structures. Unconditional, go to, continue, and break. That is, you don't check any condition. You simply say after sequential statement that you need to go to this place. Either I give a label or continue or break. For example, in case of switch case, I'll be taking something called a break. Right? Now, the decision making is, I have a conditional statement. Let us go to the conditional statement. The conditional statement is if else, nested if else ladder, and switch statement. Now the condition statement goes like this. If the control structure statement is, I have decision making statements, conditional statement, and decision making statements. Now this is the if loop. If condition is, if a condition is true, a set of statement is going to be executed. That is, the condition is, see, this is the statement. After you get the conditional statement, this is the if statement. If it's false, it exits immediately, or else it executes a set of statement that is being given within this parenthesis. After it is executed, I come out. Now this is the simplest program for us to see. Int I, clear screen, printf, enter one value. That is, it is going to be printing in my screen, black screen. That is, enter one value. I'm going to, let us assume that I'm going to type 25. The printer, it is going to give the output as this. Now this is the if else statement. It is basically two types of division. That is, if else condition. Condition is true. Else you have a set of statements like this. If A and B are there, I'm going to give input as if A is greater than B, print given number is greater or B is greater. Now this is the simple program. Now here I like to explain with this. That is, the first is called the initialization. I initialize it. Printf, this is going to go to this place, standard input header file. From there it is going to take the functions of whatever is written. That is called the user not predefined function of printf. From there you're going to get the this is going to be displayed in the black screen. Enter the two variables. In the scanf, percentage t percentage, it's called the type specifier. It is going to take two integers with space, that is, or in enter space. Now, ampersand A is going to assign an address for this variable A. Ampersand is going to assign a variable for A, and ampersand is going, again, this ampersand is going to assign space for B, variable B. Now, once the value is taken, again the looping structure is transferred into if loop. If is greater than B, it will check the condition. If the condition is true, the first statement, that is printf the given number percentage d is greater, is going to execute. Else printf the number percentage d is greater, is that is B is going to be present. This percentage d will represent what value are given from here. This is going to transfer from A to here and B to here. Remember, in printf, whatever is written in double quotes, it's going to be printed as it is, and percentage d is going to take a value from this place after comma A. In scanf, when you have double quotes, only the type specifier will be inside that, except that nothing you can give, right? And comma after this, you are going to get the I'm repeating about the scanf. Okay, after the double quotes, you're going to get the variable that is going to take the values from the console. Now this is called a user defined program or user input program. That is, user is giving the program, input from the console. If he declares directly from int A equal to 10 and B is equal to 12 here itself, the program is going to execute here itself. It is not necessary you have to have a scanf. Now next is the switch statement. Before that, there are multiple ifs. For example, there is if ladder. If ladder is there. If you check the same thing for greatest of three numbers, it is called if else ladder. Okay. Next is the switch statement. The program to print odd or even. Why I'm taking this switch is like the switch is the simplest thing. Here I've declared switch. Can you see? Switch percentage 2, that is a modulus 2. That is, any switch case statement, it is going to check for the condition. Here I've given only two conditions to make it very simple. If the case is 0, that is, you're going to get 0 as the output. That is, there is no reminder. You're going to print it as the number, that is, whatever number you're given is an even number, and you give a break here. See, I've given a break. Now after that, I'm giving you something called default condition, where always printf is going to get this value if the case is not true. Let us assume that I want to change something like vowels. I can change this a variable here as a character variable, and here as a character what I'm getting. Here I can put case within double quotes, single quotes, A and case 2, like that. It is going to take a lot of statements. And last, you're going to have a default statement where if anything is not there, you're going to print it as this is not a vowel, right? Next is the unconditional statement. This is the break statement, where every time you give a break, the break statement is used to terminate a loop, or even the switch is a looping structure, or even the in case of any statement you want to break in between, you can give a syntax as break. Now this is the continue statement, and this is syntax for go to statement. And any looping structure, this is a looping statement. I'll go a little bit fast because I don't have time. I think I have to complete almost everything. So this is the looping structure. We have a while condition, do while, enough, for. Okay, these are the looping structure. For loop is a loop which keeps on. That is the first initial condition. That is, you can declare a variable, then initialize a condition. That is the initial condition where it starts and the condition where it should end, and the number of incrementer. The code is, for example, you can see this for count equal to 1. This is the initial condition. The final condition is count. N is greater than equal to n plus count. That is, I'm going to increment the loop by 1. That is plus count by 1. So here, if the count is being incremented, I'm going to create the output. Now this is the while loop, where I'm going to have a condition that is it is called entry control, because first the condition is checked for while. After that, the condition, once the condition is true, the set of statements inside the initialization condition, that is the set of statement within the bracket, is going to be executed. After it gets executed, then again it comes to while again it keeps on taking the condition until this condition is not true. Once the condition is not true, it exits and comes out. The next one is do while, that is when a condition is, it checks, that is it goes inside the starts executing. At least once the set of statements inside this will be executed. After that it will check the condition. Now there are two types of functions, that is predefined function, user defined function. The user defined function is like that is one we are going to write, that is any function which has function declaration, that is you declare outside, then you call the function within the main, and the definition of the function is written outside the main. The simple thing is, here you see I have declared two different functions. This is two functions, that is void add, void sub. After that I have started out with clear screen. I have written here add, and this is the void main, that is this function, particular function that is from here to here is the main function. I am calling the function called add. It is coming here, it is getting the values here A, B, C and printing it here, right? So it is printing. After printing again it goes here, it calls the function from here, and the function is written outside here, it is declared here definition. I'm going to come again here inside, A, B, C is declared, printf two values, and scanf is working here. After that I declare, I evaluate and calculate C is equal to A minus B, print the statement here itself. So the end of this particular way, this particular main is going to give me an output of this both expressions here. That is, it is going to display here the addition of two numbers. If I give C is equal to A plus B is as A is 1 and B is equal to 2, it is going to get like 3. And here if I give B is equal to 3 and A is equal to 4, I'm going to get 1 as here in subject. So this is what is happening. Next is the function parameters. There is actual parameter and the formal parameter. Actual parameter is the one from the main program. You pass the variables, it goes to the function that you're calling. Now this is called formal parameter. That is function you're calling, from their values passed. This is called the formal parameter, and this is called the actual parameter. There are four types of functions, that is function with no arguments, function with no return type, or function with arguments and no return value, function with argument and with return value, function with no argument and with return value. So a function with no argument and no return value, that is you call the function, you don't have any variables inside that. I'm not going to pass any parameter outside the function, but it is going to print here itself. That is, it is not going to return to me any values, and from here also I'm not passing any values. So just purely a function call. I've declared the function here, the function works out here. When a void main runs, when you compile the program and run the program, the mul function, mul function calls that definition. The definition is int a b c, print, enter the two values. That is, it's going to print in the black screen, enter two values. Then I'm going to scan it from there. I'm going to multiply it, display it here itself. The next one is function with no arguments and no return, with arguments and no return value. Function with arguments is, that is, I'm going to use a function. For example, here you see void add int void main clear screen. That is, here when I'm calling the function, after that, see, I'm passing these two variables to this. These two variables will pass it in turn to here. That is, your actual parameter is going to give it to formal parameter. The integer is going to take it from here. That is the path, whatever value I passed from here, it is going to give it to here. The execution is direct. See, it is going to give the values, whatever is getting from here, this function to this, and this statement is going to execute. Once the statement is executed, printf add equal to %d comma c. That is, c is going to be given a value of this. This %d is going to assign whatever value that has been stored out of this c is equal to. For example, I have given 6 plus 4, add is equal to 10. I'm going to get a variable of 10. Right? Function with the argument with return value. That is, here I'm going to send the parameters value, and again it's going to return a value to me, again the main function only. Look at this. I'm initializing to add as integer, two variables. Here I'm calling. When I'm running the program, the main thing is it is going to execute from here only. The print of two variables. I'm taking the two variables. I'm calling the function c is equal to add. Now this two variables will get the input from here. From this, it is going to start. Now I'm going to call this function. The add is automatically coming here. It is taking the function from values from here. It is taking the values and executing the statement m is equal to x plus y. Let us take 6 plus 4. I'm finishing it here, returning the value. I'm not printing here. I'm returning value 10 back to the main function where the printf, that is the next statement of this, will be having the value, because I've given here printf add is equal to %d comma c. Yes. I'll be finishing with this last slide. A function with no arguments and with return value. That is, in this prototype, we are going to have only this statement. That is, you see, the function is called here. Okay, I have declared here the function. I'm calling the function z is equal to add. I'm getting the value here. Add is equal to z. The function, when I'm calling, it is going to go from here, add. It is going to give the variables here, and this is what it is executing. See, I'm not giving any variables for him. I'm just calling it. It comes here. It executes from here. That is, add function gets the variable from the user. It adds it here and returns the value from here to here. So this is what is called function with no arguments, but it has a return value, right? So